The Habit of Perfection and No Worst by Hopkins. In this title, with perfection, what Hopkins meant was spiritual perfection. This whole poem is about spiritual perfection, how one attains spiritual perfection by discarding all the senses, the pleasures of the senses. So, and how one connect to God and gets free from all problems and sorrows. So this poem is all about this. Here he's saying that we should make a habit that we leave all materialistic things and we should make ourselves perfect. And how one individual gets perfect is by leaving all the materialistic things. This is what Hopkins thought. Okay, so let's start the poem. Electric silence, sing to me, and beat upon my world ear. Pipe me to the pastures, still and be the music that I care to hear. So he want to hear the music that silence is going to create. So that music would be coming within him. What he will do then is he will content himself with silence and not seek the pleasurable notes of the music. He is trying to say that one is going to get spiritual perfection when he or she what he or she does is he or she don't seek the pleasurable notes of music. Rather, what one do is he or she hears the music that is created, that comes from within, and within, that means our spiritual music. He want to hear the music that silence is going to create. See, only those people can hear the music of silence who are away from materialistic things. Worldly music is a form of materialistic things. Worldly music comes in materialistic things. So he want to discard his sense of hearing the materialistic music. Rather, he will hear the music of silence, the music that comes from inside. Let's see the second paragraph. Shape nothing, lips be lovely dumb. It is the shut, the curfew sent from there where all surrenders come, which only makes you elegant. Here, what the poem is trying to say is now he want to surrender the ability of speaking. In first para, what he did, he surrendered this ability of hearing, and now he want to surrender the ability of speaking. The dark won't speak anything because we should not expect anything from anybody. We should stop speaking. He wants his lips to be shut. What he want in this para is, in last para he wanted to shut his ears, and now he want to shut his lips. Why he don't want to speak? It is the shut the curfew sent from there where all surrenders come. He says that from where all the surrenders come is from others who speak. What he will do is he will not speak the dirty things. He will not speak about the materialistic things. He will keep himself away from doing such things. So how will he do is by surrendering the ability of speaking. Then in third para, what he is saying that be shelled eyes with double dark. Here we'll see that in this para, what he's going to surrender, he's going to surrender the sense of seeing, obviously, because here he's talking about eyes. Let's go further. Be shelled eyes with double dark and find the uncreated light. This ruck and reel which you remark coils, keeps and teases simple sight. In this paragraph, what Hopkins is saying that he says, I don't want to see any materialistic thing that would attract me in this world, and says I'm only interested in looking at the light that God has sent. In first para, he talked about surrendering his hearing abilities. In second para, he sorry, in second para, what he did was he surrendered the ability of speaking, and now he want to surrender the ability of seeing. He don't want to see any materialistic things, because how one gets how one gets flowed in materialistic thing is by seeing it or by hearing it or by speaking about it. So he want to shut all those things, and what he want to see is only the light that comes from God, that the God sends. So he is going to attain spiritual perfection by shutting and discarding all the pleasures of the senses. Then what he says is, palate, the hutch of tasty lust, desire not to be rinsed with wine. The can must be so sweet, the crust so fresh that come in fast, divine. Now, what he's saying that, see what you can see that one after another he's shutting all his senses. Now what he's saying that he should not pay for anything that is delicious and tasty, because what is delicious and tasty is is somehow is somehow connected to materialistic things. Okay, so he should fast and eat only day bread and a glass of water. He will keep himself away from delicious things. He will keep himself away with wine. What he will eat is fast is only day bread and a glass of water. This is a food of a simple person who's living a simple life. So there's nothing materialistic thing in it. It is just a basic need of life. So what he's going to do is going to do fast and eat only day bread and drink water. He says the moment he is going to attain perfection, this is the moment when he start doing all these things, he will attain perfection, because he's going to put all these things into habit. Like, what are the habits that he's going to put himself into is not speaking anything about materialistic thing, not hearing anything regarding materialistic thing, and like this he will attain perfection and spirituality. And doing all this will make spirituality, and doing all this, what will happen, he will become spiritually stronger, so that he can have direct connection with God. Then he's saying, nostrils, your careless breath that spent upon the stir and keep of pride, what relish shall the censer send along the century's side? Now he's saying that he is coming on that nostalgic sense that you are careless breathe, because breathe here refers to the smell that is coming of beautiful things, like for example food, perfume. These are something which जो आपको एक तरीके से बहका देते हैं. They move you from your targets, they move you from being spiritual. These are some materialistic things, like food, the smell of good food, delicious food, the smell of perfumes. So, and here breathe is personified. Please write it down. This is important, that breathe over here is personified, because breathe can't be careless. Careless is a human quality which is given to breathe over here. He says breath is moving here and there, and which is trying to keep on pride. He says you are indulging yourself to materialistic things. Careless breath is a symbol of pride that you are trying to show your ego. He says, I am not interested in that. Here, by rash, he means appetizing favor, and by century side, he means rituals that is taking place. He says, I'm not interested in spelling anything which is not holy or natural. He is stopping himself from spelling anything that is unnatural or which is not holy or which is materialistic. He says that he asks his nostalgia not to smell anything, because the moment he'll smell anything, he's moving towards sensual things of world. He says rather he should smell the fragrance that is coming from the century side. Then, O feel of primrose hands, O feet that want the yield of plushy sword, but you shall walk the golden street, and you unhouse and house the Lord. He also says that I want to keep myself away from the ladies who have applied the perfume to attract men. Usually, what ladies do is they apply makeup, they apply fragrance, like they apply perfume so that men gets attracted to them. This is a kind of cycle that moves in the society. So what he says that I'm not interested in physical love that women are interested in, and says the moment I'll apply perfume it will show pride, and I don't want to get attracted by women. So because see, this is also comes in materialistic things, and I think that it comes on top of materialistic thing. So if one have to get spiritual perfection, or one who want to head towards spirituality, the first thing that he or she should do is uh, discard all the pleasures that are given to us by our senses, and this physical love is also a materialistic thing, and to attain spiritual perfection one should stop itself herself or himself from physical love. He says sorry he says your hand and legs want to feel the softness and don't want to feel the harshness. He says your hand also wants soft things like primrose, and your legs want to walk on velvet grass. So we are looking for sensual pleasure and want to have luxury life. See, luxury, sensual pleasures, all these things are materialistic things. And if one want to walk on velvet grass is something that symbolizes richness. Hopkins have said in many of his poems that though you have tend to wear the sleepers, but you don't realize that the destruction is made by you yourself. That is, human being himself or herself do destruction to themselves. You should walk on Golden Street. By Golden Street, what he meant is street that leads to church. Golden here refers to purity, something that is divine. So one, rather than walking on velvet grass, what one should walk on is Golden Street, the street that leads to church, the street that leads you to spirituality, the street that leads you to divine. It is secret ceremony done in church. See, it is said that in church what happens is sacred ceremonies take place, and here he refers to Last Supper of Jesus. He says you should go towards church and perform ceremony performed in church instead of parties. What humans are in modern world is more attracted to is parties. They attend a lot of party. If you ask one to either that, if you question one person that one person will either go to a church or a party, then he will for sure choose party, because this is what uh, today's people are more attracted to. But what Hopkins want to say is what one should attract towards is church. What one should attract towards is spirituality, and rather than going to parties they should perform a ceremony that are performed in church. They should attend those ceremonies so that they are more uh, put forward to spirituality. And poverty beat down the bride, and now the marriage feast begun. And lily-colored clothes provide your spouse, not labored at nor spur. So now what he's saying that now your poverty is personified here, and poverty is going to be bride of poet. Now, how poverty is personified? Because one gets married to a human and it is a humanly thing, but what here the Hopkins is doing is he has given a human quality to poverty. He's saying that poverty is going to be bride of poet. He says he is going to marry poverty. By this, he will be away from materialistic things and poor remember God more. Obviously, in see when one remembers in today's world, when one remembers God is when someone is in any kind of problem. So what he's going to do is he's going to become poor, because poor is the person who is totally away from materialistic things. A poor doesn't have big car or luxurious living or any materialistic things in his or her life. So what he's going to do is he's going to make himself poor and start living the life of poor, so that he gets away from materialistic things, and so that he remembers God more. Because what poor do is poor gets most of the sufferings in life, and when a person gets sufferings and problems in life, that is the point that he remembers God and he wants God to help him. So what he's going to do is he's going to do the same, and he's going to live the life of the poor. Now marriage feast begin. The dry bread and water, no luxury, no delicious food, no wines. This is what he's going to do. He's going to marry poor. He's going to marry poverty, and there will be no uh, luxury. There will be no delicious food, no wine. What there will be is only dry bread and water. This is what poor usually eat. Then he says that the bride would not have elaborate dresses but a lily colored cloth. As we know that in materialistic thing, what brides wear is something that is very uh, classy and very beautiful, full of work and very luxurious. But here, what his bride is going to wear is a lily color cloth, a simple lily color cloth. He says your spouse is not going to do any kind of labor of creating wedding dress for her. The moment you are not putting a lot of hard work, that means you are moving away from sensual world. See, what to attain materialistic things, what one do is put a lot of labor, do a lot of hard work, so that he reaches to that point where he get all those things. But uh, what he what he is going to do is he's moving away from sensual world by not doing all such things. The poet is very aware of display of this world which is ostentatious. The moment I'm going to marry poverty, I'm moving away from all senses and sensual world, and I'll become spiritually stronger and would meet God. So this is all about what he's saying in this poem is that he will move away from all the materialistic things, and what he will move towards a spiritual world, and he will get spiritually stronger and would meet God. So this is all this poem is about. uh, if you have any problem regarding this poem, you can ask me in comment section, and if you want me to explain this poem in Hindi as well, then you can comment it down so that I can make a video on it. Thank you.